How would you like to get more out of your workouts? If your main goal is to burn fat, many traditional exercises and training styles may not be the best route for you. Typically, when I'm at the gym and I look around, I see a bunch of people doing exercises that don't really match up with their goals. If you're trying to get some bigger biceps, for example, you shouldn't be on the elliptical doing hours and hours of cardio. And on the other hand, if you're trying to lose some weight and burn some belly fat, you shouldn't be smashing out set after set of bicep curls. Exercises and training styles are like tools, and before you just assume that watching one or two Rocky movies is all the knowledge that you need on exercising, let's make sure that you've chosen the right tool for the job, or should I say for your goal. If your goal is to lose belly fat, I hate to break it to you, but there is no exercise that can directly target the fat on your belly. But there are plenty of exercise methods that can indirectly burn the fat from your belly. And in this video, I'll be going over 5 of these methods. These training methods will help you burn more fat during and after your workout. Let's start with the very first one, and that's peripheral hard action training. This is my favorite way to do all my weight training workouts, and I highly suggest that if you're trying to lose some belly fat, you incorporate this style of training right away. In general, your workouts for the week should be a mixture of some more aerobic and some more anaerobic workouts, meaning some of them should be geared more towards lifting heavy weights, and others should be geared towards improving your cardiovascular functions. But what you'll notice is that during your heavy weight training days, you wind up taking longer breaks and not breathing quite as heavy. Sometimes after some weight training workouts, besides the soreness that you obviously will feel in your muscles, you may not feel like you worked out at all. So that's where peripheral hard action training comes into play. It helps incorporate an element of cardio into your weight training workout without you having to sacrifice the amount of weight that you're actually lifting. So you won't get weaker, but you'll be able to burn much more calories and accomplish much more in a shorter period of time. The best way to do this is by combining an upper body and a lower body movement into one set. For example, you can combine bench press with a squat. So you would do 6 to 8 reps on the bench press, and then right away with no break, you would do squats for 6 to 8 reps. You would perform both of these exercises with a heavy weight load, and you would only take a break after completing both of them. With peripheral hard action training, what you're doing is you're taking the blood that your heart would normally just have to pump to your chest and arms if you were just doing bench press by itself, and what you're doing is you're forcing your body to pull and pump all that blood back down to your legs right after your set of bench without any break or recovery. This makes your heart work much harder, allowing you to get your heart rate higher and your breathing rate higher, and this will burn more calories and fat in the process. Now let's say that you don't want to work legs and upper body in the same day. You want to just focus on each on separate days. Well, the good news is that peripheral hard action training doesn't only work if you combine an upper and a lower body movement. It'll also work if you combine 2 movements that work opposing muscle groups. For example, if you combine chest and back movements together with no break, or if you do quad and hamstring movements together with no break, your heart will still have to work much harder to push the blood from the anterior part of your body to the posterior part of your body, the front and the back. So peripheral hard action training, try it out. The second exercise style that can help you burn a lot more belly fat is known as cardio acceleration training. We actually have a whole hour-long class at our gym dedicated to this type of training because it's so effective. Once again, it involves supersetting 2 exercises, except this time, instead of doing 2 weight training exercises back to back, we're combining a weight training exercise with a cardio exercise with no break. So an example of this would be to perform a set of barbell squats with a heavy weight for, let's say, 6 to 10 reps, and then immediately with no break, once you rack the bar, you go right into high knees for 30 to 45 seconds, then take a break and repeat for 3 to 4 sets. Guys, this is called cardio acceleration for a reason. It will wipe you out. All you need is like 5 exercise combos like this, done for 3 to 4 sets each, and you'll be burning fat like it's nothing. Next up is multi-joint training. So there are single exercises that involve a lot of large muscle groups in one movement. A perfect example to illustrate a multi-joint exercise is a clean and press. Here you're working almost every joint in your body, as well as a lot of different muscle groups. The best exercises to burn body fat and belly fat are the ones that use a lot of muscles, a lot of joints, and a lot of energy in one movement. The barbell clean and press will burn much more calories and break down much more muscle tissue than a simple bicep curl. However, at the gym, you see a lot more people doing bicep curls rather than multi-joint exercises, even though most people are at the gym to lose weight and body fat. Now, there are many multi-joint exercises that you may already be doing, such as squats, lunges, deadlifts, snatches, and even bench pressing involves more than one joint. But by combining more joints into the movement, you could burn more calories. For example, you can turn a regular deadlift into a deadlift with a burpee and a push-up at the bottom. By doing that, you're taking an exercise that's already burning a lot of calories and you're involving more joints and more muscles, leading you to burn even more. That's just one example. You could do a front barbell squat with the press at the top, or a lunge and a lateral raise. There are a ton of ways to incorporate multi-joint training. Let's move on. The next training style will not only help you burn more calories in a shorter period of time, but it'll also help you break down more muscle tissue, allowing you for more gains. This training style is known as drop sets, which, to sum up drop sets, they're pretty much you starting with a heavy weight load, performing it for a set amount of reps, then dropping the weight, and with no break, performing more reps. Drop sets might sound simple in theory, but I promise you they are not. Your muscles will be screaming and your heart will be pounding. For this style of training, I want to see you drop the weight twice per set. So for example, let's go back to the bench press. I start with my heaviest weight load, after warming up of course, but I have that heavy weight load and I squeeze out 7 reps. I get up right away, take some weight off the bar, then lay right back down with no break and squeeze out another 6 to 8 reps. Then once again, no break, I get up, take some more weight off and immediately do one last set, usually to failure. I can't give you the exact amount of weight to drop because it depends on the weight load that you originally start with. For example, if I start bench pressing 100 pounds, just taking 10 pounds off of each side will allow me to bang out a few more reps. However, if I'm benching 275 pounds, I may have to drop 25 pounds from each side just to be able to still perform a decent amount of reps. Always try to stick to the heaviest weight that you could still do for a decent amount of reps. Once again, that's drop set training. The last type of training that I want to talk to you about today is one that you might have heard of, but at Gravity Training Zone, we do it a little differently. It's known as circuit training, and you may not know this, but high-intensity interval training, high-intensity resistance training, and even some of the training styles that I already went over in this video are forms of circuit training. So there are many ways that you can set up a circuit training routine, but with this particular style of training, I want you to combine 5 exercises for one giant set. Set up an interval timer for 40 to 60 seconds on and 10 seconds off. The 10 seconds off is not your break, it's just there so you can get to the next exercise. You're going to combine those 5 exercises back to back and move through those exercises with no break until you're done with all of them. Then take a 90-second break and repeat for 3 rounds. So you might do a bench press followed by a barbell squat followed by jumping rope, then barbell rows, then burpees. This type of training is for when you've already had some experience and you're able to handle this high level of work. With circuit training, I don't recommend that you go super heavy with your weight load because you will be doing a lot of reps. A moderate weight load is much more appropriate for this type of training. Once again, circuit training is one of those forms of training that you only have to do like 15 to 20 minutes to burn a ton of fat. Before I wrap up, I want to remind you guys that even though these training styles will help you burn more calories and burn more fat, you won't be burning any belly fat if you have a horrible diet. That quote that says you can't outrun a bad diet, it's true. So make sure you check out some of my other videos that'll show you